I had another strange dream. I had a very, very long and extended dream. I was talking to my cousin when I visited my aunt's house. The entire time I was there, I was talking to my cousin. Keep that in mind. She told me everything that was going on in the house with my aunt. My aunt is suffering from Alzheimer's, dementia, slightly, and her two of her children. She had 5. One of her daughters and sons are robbing her blind, and even one of her grandchildren systematically robs her. So the dream was me visiting that house, and my cousin, her oldest child, which is a woman, telling me all of this. And my cousin said that she went to go cash her check one time for her, and she gasps that it was $8,000. No, actually, she gave me a very specific number, I can't remember it right now, that was close to $8,000. And this is her retirement. Finally, after hours of talking to her, I said I wanted to see my aunt. Let me explain the dynamic of my family. Because of the way that I grew up, I'm treated still like the rich cousin. They know nothing about my current situation. If you want to donate, you can donate at paypal.me/Shakaama. I am very nearly probably going to be kicked out next month because I'm not making enough on YouTube. YouTube is systemically silencing my channel. And for what reason, I don't know, because I don't talk about anything controversial. Somebody just has a hair up their whatever and have targeted my channel. And what's funny is there are other channels that talk about super controversial stuff that is squarely not... I censor myself, and those channels don't censor themselves at all. And they get hundreds of millions of people and hundreds of millions of views. I can't even crack 1,000 anymore, and they're deleting my subscribers. So finally, after hours of talking to her, I said I wanted to see my aunt. So in the dream, when I said I wanted to see my aunt, my cousin wanted to prepare me. She said, I kid you not, she's smoking crack right now. Now, I have no idea why I dreamed that. To my knowledge, my personal knowledge, my aunt doesn't do anything like that. She's a former judge, very religious. As far as I know, went to church 2 and 3 times a week. But maybe my dream was trying to warn me that the other daughter and son are doing something to her, and she doesn't actually have dementia at all. So the daughter that's robbing her and my other cousin show up. That's the son. They say, no, she's coming to you. So they went into her bedroom to get her, and they wheel her out in her bed. Now, as they're wheeling her out, I can see down the hallway, a baby carriage is in the way in the hallway. And I get distracted and sort of rush to get the baby carriage out of the way, for in the baby carriage was a baby, I thought. So I moved the baby carriage into the living room. As I did that, the daughter that's robbing her, my aunt, threw her down the hallway in the bed to go crashing into the far wall of the living room. It registered in my brain that she did that, but I was concentrating on this baby carriage. You know, in a dream, you can only concentrate, so much on one thing at a time. Because in the baby carriage was a white baby, but the baby looked plastic. The daughter that is robbing her came to her senses of who she was in front of. Maybe she does that, when nobody's around. She treats her mother like that. But she went and retrieved the bed with my aunt in it and brought her into the living room proper. Still concentrating on the baby, I turned it this way and that. He blinked back at me. I asked whose baby this was, and the daughter that's robbing my aunt said it was hers. Now, we're all black. To have a white baby, and I mean the baby is white, and its skin was plasticky, but it keeps blinking at me, so clearly it's alive. I don't know why the baby was plastic. I have no idea. If you can interpret dreams, please interpret that part of it. I said, oh, so who's married now? So when I go visit the family, I have to keep tabs of what's changed in the family. Do I have new cousins that I don't know about, or who's had children, who got married, what have you. So I started that. That's a normal thing for me to do when I visit my family, right? I think that's a normal thing for anybody to visit their family. Although they live here in town, I never visit them. And I mean, for years I haven't visited them. So I said, oh, so who's married now? She wasn't, but she had a baby. She has other children. She is also the mother of the other son that is robbing my aunt, goes into her purse, steals stuff out of her purse, takes the car for a joyride. That's the legal term for Grand Theft Auto, I believe. The eldest son is married with children, and the other one that's robbing her blind, the youngest daughter, is not married. There's the youngest daughter, and I don't know who she's not married, but I don't know her role with my aunt. I don't know if she's doing anything. I don't know if she's a good daughter or evil daughter. I don't know. The other son is completely out of the picture. And I believe he's remarried or something like that. And he's completely out of the picture in real life. Has nothing to do with my aunt, nor his brothers and sisters. And then I said, Renee here, she's not married either. The daughter who's robbing my aunt and I started crying. That's when I woke up. Renee has been dead for 20 years. I had been talking to her the entire time. When I pointed to her, the daughter was like, what? Who? And started crying because she didn't see her at all. And I started crying, and that's when I woke up. I sat there awake for quite some time, questioning in real life if she was dead. It never registered in the dream that she's actually dead. It was clear as day that she was talking to me. It was clear as day that she was talking to me. It was as if I was talking to my neighbor, and the entire time. And the dream was so long, and we talked about all sorts of stuff going on in the house. And there were a whole bunch of people in the kitchen and the dining room, and we were in a corner talking. Now, it did not register that she was dead. And then even when I woke up, it was so real that I questioned who had I been talking to. Not to go off on a tangent, but I had a dream that I had visited my grandmother, who's also dead. And it was so real also. And that dream was amazing because my grandmother, who's very formal, everything's very formal. This is where I get a lot of my upbringing from, and how the family sort of acts. Very formal, very sort of regal. In that dream, it was amazing because my grandmother, clearly we were in, not heaven, we were in some sort of purgatory near heaven or something like that. Because I could not visit her had she been directly in heaven. And she was very down to earth and very, I don't want to say casual, but she talked to me like an equal. In real life, that never happened. It was very formal, very, madam, yes, ma'am, yes. I never said your highness or nothing like that, but that's a sort of notion that I had growing up. but in the dream, she was very sort of down to earth and very informal. That's what I want to say. She was very informal, sort of like the rest of Americans sort of act. And it was very refreshing. So it was so real. It was so vivid. And that's the same thing that this dream was. And it really confused me when I first woke up that I had been talking to my cousin who's been dead for 20 years. If you have the gift of translating dreams, I would really appreciate it if you would translate for me. I would appreciate it. Thank you so much. Leave a like. And of course, I hope you leave a comment of what you think the dream was about. What do you think the baby was about? And in real life, my mother has asked me to assist in trying to get the daughter and son, I don't know if arrested or some sort of intervention, some sort of legal thing, although my mother really doesn't ask me for favors just willy-nilly. And I'm a little bit shocked that she even cares that her sister is being taken advantage of in her old age. Thank you all for watching.